Well, I have a very public apology to make. It's not that big of a deal, actually. I just wanted to make sure I address it because it's somebody in rescue, and that is a big deal. Someone had asked a question, and it's actually pretty hypocritical of me because I do a lot on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm constantly battling questions. Well, I shouldn't say constantly, but frequently I'll come back with questions like when there's like a super accusatory question and they just go through this whole gamut of, they know better than I do in a 60-second post of what's happening and what's going to unfold. And I'm like, dude, this isn't my first rodeo. This is the situation. If you want to know, like, if you want better answers, don't come at me with questions that are, based in that way. Ask some questions. And I literally did just that to somebody on here on YouTube. I wrote it down, the name of it. I think it's JT. I don't know if there's a last name. I didn't. Anyway, I'm sorry for that. She had asked a question, and this is rescue related. She asked a question, and these guys are in the background having a play fest, about the dog I posted yesterday. I've been walking my neighbor's dog and trying to get them to surrender this dog. I'm just kind of having a hell of a time, and I'm in this weird spot and yada yada. Anyway, so she asked a question: what will you do? What are you going to do? Or what happens if you get the dog and then they get another dog? And I just laid out this long-winded answer of pretty much just went into these are the questions, and I left it up so you can see it. These are the questions that get nothing done, because the people that ask, what are you going to do if they get a replacement dog, are the people that don't do anything. They're the people that see these situations and they talk about them. They hate that they're happening, but they take it as, well, if I did something, they're just going to get a replacement dog. So they use that as a reason to never actually do anything. And I say all this in the post, and I'm alluding to this person being someone that fits in there, in that category of, and so I just went into detail about, I don't have an answer for what happens if they get another dog. I don't go that far. I'm going right now. The dog right now is fucking suffering terribly. So I need to focus on that and then make moves. And the next move, if they did get another dog, there's many different scenarios of how that works. But the point is, I've taken many dogs from situations, whether they were surrendered or not. If I've already touched it, I'm not gonna exit without the dog. And the longest one took me 2 years to get. And anyway, the point is, most of these people that I've dealt with, are people that they don't want the dog to begin with. So the three that have been over the last year, none of them have gotten another dog. I've never seen any, and because I still stalk the property. I'm close enough to make sure that another dog doesn't show up. It's that kind of situation. So anyway, this person had asked this, and so I gave my whole, gamut of what I was responding with, and then she went on to say, because she works in rescue, and she's done a lot of husky rescue, and the husky pandemic in California is fucking absurd. It's absolutely insane. And it's not just California, it's all over. Sorry for that. Comments or messages are coming through. Damn it, I should turn those off. When Game of Thrones got really big, everybody went out and got a husky, because it was like, Game of Thrones was a big, cool show, and everybody wanted to be like that. And they flipping got huskies, and nobody can handle one. No one knows how to, you don't get a husky and live in the city. If you aren't a runner, if you aren't a hiker, if you aren't someone that knows how to work with the dog, you have zero business getting a husky. And all these people just started breeding them. And anyway, so now they're overpopulated, and they're wildly smart and active dogs, and no one can handle them. So anyway, this person was just commenting about that she's done a lot with her situations with helping huskies. And there was one that she took and they replaced it. And so they replaced it, and then she had to get animal control involved, which is, a good scenario to go through. Those are the right hoops, in my opinion, that I would do. Like if they just keep replacing, there's only so many times I can trespass on property without getting caught, or so many times I'm willing to before, because legally, like, not really much is going to happen. Some people are scared by a slap on the wrist, and some people laugh about it. So anyway, I wanted to apologize for that, because I assumed that she fit into that crowd of someone that doesn't do anything, just jumps to, what are you going to do and I can't. I just have no patience for excuse makers, no patience for people that want to be a part of something great and want the betterment for the animals, but won't actually do anything. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It has no room in my life. So I'm extremely vocal about it, and there's days like today that I'm a little too sharp with the reply, and I didn't know she worked in rescue. So anyway, I'm sorry about that. That was definitely, don't want to discourage somebody that's doing the work just because that I've created a platform for dog training and rescue and whatnot. So anyway, that's all. Also, guess who has a meet and greet this week? Little fat boy. You get a meet and greet. You guys, you can't see in these videos, and it just sucks, and I don't know how to change it. You can't see, but everybody that comes to meet them in person, they're like, oh my God, Jerry! Yes, Jerry's here. So you guys, Sailor Jerry, if you need help training, I mention her at the end of a lot of my videos. If you need help training, she is the queen of virtual training. She has started a new revolution of dog training, which is so different than anything we've ever done. And I started, I touched on it, and then I met her 2 years ago, and she's like, girl, no, this is what I do. And she gave me her platform. She taught me what she did. And I am not kidding you when I tell you, you never have to, there's zero reason. You don't have to have what is that? Healthy boundaries. A big yellow thing just popped up. I don't know what that is, but that was awesome. You don't have to have a dog trainer come to your home. You can do it virtually. And people think, when we talk about virtual training, that it's like a live FaceTime, and it's not. It's all on your own time. But what I really got from the platform that Jerry taught me, was when I show somebody what to do, I go through what it is that needs to happen, and then I say, okay, this is what I want you to do with your dog. And then I see them do it. When you, as the trainer, can see how somebody lives with their dog, how they talk to their dog, how they move, how their body language, how their whole dynamic is, we can fix it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So if you need help dog training, you need to go over to her stuff. It's TulsaPackAthletics.com. All of her social media stuff is Sailor Jerry. She gives away a ton of free content, and she has got trainers that she has trained all over the country and all over the world at this point that can help you train your dog without you ever actually leaving your home. And it's a big deal, because when I work with private clients, your boundaries. Oh, thank you, Jojo. Thank you. When activity on buses and trucks, fast moving loud objects, bicycles, and skateboard. Yeah, good for you. It's not reactivity with that kind of stuff. It's a big deal. Oh my God, he just took off with the water bowl. Got 85 things going on. But when I I just want to get back to this dog training stuff, because when I've worked with private clients that need help, the dogs I work with I won't work with someone I won't work with this. If you had a dog like this and you came to me and you're like, hey, I need help training my dog, you're not a candidate for me. My time is reserved for dogs that have no shots. They've already put people in the hospital. They've already killed other animals. The owner does not want to give up their dog, but they don't know what to do. Those are who I work with. And because of what Jerry's platform does, I have been able to work with people on the other side of the country and teach them how to work with their dog and dial it all back, work it. I mean, you wouldn't, it's unbelievable just through virtual, and their dog has success, and there's ongoing success, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And the point of it, when you have a dog like that, I tell all my clients, you're going to be a dog trainer by the time we're done. You don't have to do that for a living, but you're going to know so well how to read your own dog and how to work through these things that when you start seeing other people's dogs, you're going to be like, yeah, you are going to know how to be a dog trainer, because it's learning your dog. And when you learn these things, you can't unlearn them, and it will change your life forever. So if you're struggling with that, I'm not taking on any more clients for March, April, maybe May. I'll open back up. But Jerry is, because she's got a shit ton of dog trainers. Go to Tulsa Pack Athletics. Go to tulsapackathletics.com. Right, Jerry? Are you here? Tulsa Pack Athletics. I'll put it in the description. I usually put all her stuff in my descriptions anyway, like her TikTok, her Instagram, all of that stuff. So her program is, if you show up to do it, you're going to get the work, and you will have a different relationship with your dog, and you don't have to leave your house. You don't have to freak out because there's no trainers in your area that you don't know, how to work with, or that they're not the ones that you want. You will get what you need. And then the beauty of it is there's this huge community on social media, throughout TikTok, throughout Instagram, throughout Facebook, where you can be involved with being a part of the team, with posting your progress, posting your pitfalls, posting like all that stuff. And then the Leash Foundation course, that's a big one. That one is mine, and that's one that I send everybody to, because you need to learn that regardless. Like if you're going to go through her program, if you're going to go through my program, like that's a prereq. Just go and do it and get that part out of the way so we can get on to the good stuff. So once you learn how to maneuver that leash, the sky's the limit. That really took a turn. This was my apology video. Sorry, JT. I didn't mean to take away from that, but that was, so that's pretty much it. I think I think that was just like housekeeping stuff for this morning, letting these guys go bananas for a little bit. We're going to work them this afternoon, and let me look at comments. What's that yellow? There's like a big yellow comment. Any advice? I'm getting frustrated. Oh, with the reactivity. Yeah, do it. Go to her, go to Tulsa Pack Athletics and sign up with her program. And I know she's got more than one. So you'll have some options of what it is that you're looking for, and it'll help drastically. Healthy boundaries. Oh, is that like a top? What is that called? Like a top chat or something? You just paid for that. Bless your fucking heart. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And you were the one that said don't apologize for. I do appreciate that. It's a super chat, so you'd see my comment. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, I know that's the first time that's ever happened. So I'm learning with this. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. One of the things, like the reason I wanted to make sure I apologized was just because I am such a dick on regular, like not out loud, but in my head, I am. Like when I see people comment on my TikTok or my Instagram or my Facebook, any of that, I'm like, it's so frustrating, people, because it's so transparent. Like the people that ask that kind of stuff, I know they're not doing anything. I'm like, stop, so I usually reply with, I let them have it, and not a shitty way, but I just let them have it with like, this is what's happening. Ask the right questions, and you can be a part of it, but whatever. I just want to make sure I address that, so I don't do it again. Like I know if I call myself out, I'm going to make sure that I don't. Can you still train them virtually if you're dealing with anxiety, scared of another fight to break out? Yes, you need this. That's a big deal. That's a big, big deal. So Marshana, is that how you say her name? Marshana? I've never heard that. It's pretty. Marshana, probably Marshana. For you personally, like you're having the anxiety, dude, I can so relate to that. So think about this. This is something I learned years ago. Anxiety is a fear of the unknown, right? So anxiety is that's all it is. It's just a fear of the unknown. So if you know what's going to happen, if you know what your day is going to look like, if you have everything set up to be a controlled scenario, the anxiety starts to alleviate. It doesn't mean that it's going to disappear completely. You're still going to have like those PTSD moments where you hear a dog bark, like they're going to start a fight, and your whole, like all the blood's going to rush out of your body. It feels like you're going to just pass out. Those will still be there, and you will still have to work through those. But it gets better when you have control of the situation and you know how to keep your dog safe. You know the right tools to use, whether it's a slip lead. Do you need to muzzle train? Do you need to are you using crates? When you have all of these things set up, now it relieves that anxiety from you, and now you can start replacing it with confidence. And once you're confident, once you believe you, your dog will believe you. And that's where, oh, Jerry, we'll get right back to her. Jerry's messaging me. That's where you will, it'll start to switch. And Tish is here. Oh my God, all my favorite people showed up today, you guys. And now I'm super distracted. Focus, what were they talking about? Anxiety. So that's where that will start to be replaced with that confidence. And you can do this virtually. You can do this with virtual training. Like, I'll tell you, a big part of my program when I started out, because I wasn't willing to work with people that had just goofy little dogs. You know, I really wanted to work with the ones that have been through what I've been through, because I know what it feels like. And I'm going to do my best not to cry talking about it. But I know what it fucking feels like. It is absolutely terrifying to have dogs that you feel like you failed and they've gotten into fights, or they've gone after you and you don't know what to do. And the whole world is saying, you got to put this dog down. You're an idiot. What are you doing? This is so stupid. Why would anybody do that? And you know, in your heart, like, I fucked up. I know it doesn't have to be this way. There's got to be another way. I just know what that feels like. So doing a lot of my virtual training in the beginning with a lot of my first clients that had been through stuff like this, we did very basic stuff to implement boundaries in the house, but I can't tell you how much of it was actually personal development for the person. I mean, it really was like, there's so much crying that happens about a week and a half through it, because that you have to get better at you. You have to get better at being you. And you start, like, when we start pulling all this stuff out, you get to see like where you made the mistakes, and it's not your fault. You didn't know, you don't know what you don't know. And so when you see that, and then you can flip it and you can start doing the things correctly, it really changes the dynamic between you and the dog. But mostly what it does is you become a different version of yourself. And that's why I am constantly preaching, you have to get better at being you. He's chewing on my tie back. You have to get better at being you if you want your dog to get better. You can't, if you have a dog that you've they've gotten in fights, or they bit you or bit somebody else, who you are today has got you where you're at right now. So to get further, you don't get to be this person anymore. You got to get better. And that's really overwhelming for some people. Like, oh my God, but I liked my life. Like for me, for a long time, it was like, how am I ever going to live without drinking wine? Like, I love wine. And anything I do usually involves like, an event with wine. And so that was really, really difficult to wrap my head around. And I looked the other way for many, many years, because I couldn't fathom the idea of a life with no wine. That sounds so stupid to say right now, but it was the truth. And I didn't get sober for a reason where I was like, wow, I really need to take a break. I just got sober for there was a situation that pissed me off, and it was too foggy to remember it. And that's when I don't like losing. Let's put it that way. I don't like losing. And I was on the losing side of that situation, and I couldn't win because I couldn't remember, because I drank too much wine the night before. So I got sober, and I was like, fuck you, wine. And then everything changed. And then I realized, like, I saw where I failed my sister, and she died the year before. And then every single thing I did with the dogs transformed. I mean, I was still doing this stuff with the dogs, but I mean, when I'm telling you, like, it transformed, like, I was firing on all cylinders. I went from being good to being exceptional. And it was that kind of, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that things were better over here. I thought it would be too hard, and that it would be so unfun. Like, my life would suck if I had to do all these different things because they didn't sound fun. They sounded like hard work. And anyway, it just took me a long time to realize that hard work was That's where the money is. And like the actual money is there. But that's where life gets good. There's not one day that I miss my old life. There's not one day I miss, being hungover and watching Law and Order, which actually was really fun. But I get so much more out of nonstop. Now I get to be this person that I didn't even know existed before, and it's just because that I got serious about situations. And so, anyway, that's just a very long-winded way of telling you that the scariest stuff of like trying to have those breakthroughs when you think about like, how do I become a different person? You don't become a different person in the moment. You just start shifting and you just start making small commitments to yourself and to your dog, and you train new habits. That's a big one. Like when you train new habits, just got my turn up. I want to balance the kids and the three dogs. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when that's like you think about your habits, like what your daily habits are, and I'm big into all the big wigs, like all the Tony Robbins, the Jim Rohns, the Les Browns, um, David Goggins. He was one that I don't know if you guys listen to any of those guys, but David Goggins is the reason that I pushed through with like a lot of my dogs that, well, my one dog that had almost killed me. David Goggins was a Navy SEAL, but listening to those guys, because I didn't have any belief in myself, and they really helped. I would listen to what they said, and Tony Robbins was one that said your your habits are your rituals, and that was like the difference in those two words really made a lot of sense to me. 'Cause, like habits just seem like, well, it's a habit, but when you talk about it being your ritual, like wow, this is something that I really deem important that I do every single day. And a lot of them I really don't. They just are my habits. And so I had to shift all that stuff. And I just had to create new habits. And those became my rituals. Now those are my non-negotiables. And when you have non-negotiables, then things really start to make headway. But I would start with go over to tulsapackathletics.com if you need help and sign up with Jerry, get yourself into a course. She is the queen of organizing that kind of stuff. And the beauty of the program, the virtual training that she taught me how to do is you have access to us every single day. There's not one day that goes by. I'm sorry, I should say, I think she does 5 days. When I did it, I was doing 7 days a week because I'm a fucking control freak. I will not let a day go by that we don't touch base and check in because I don't want you practicing something incorrectly and then getting back to me 3 or 4 days later and being like, yeah, look at what we've been doing. I'm like, oh shit, you've been doing that wrong for 3 or 4 days. Everything matters. And so it's not just training stuff. Like you have access to one of the trainers in the sense where you can pick up your phone and it's like a FaceTime, but it's not live recorded. It's recorded and the person isn't there. And then they just check it the trainer just checks it when they can. And then you check it when you can. And so you can grab your phone and be like say I'm your trainer and I don't know, it's 10:30 in the morning and you forgot that you wanted to tell me that a couple weeks ago, the dog had an incident with yada, 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 one of your kids. And then you'd pick up the phone and be like, hey, Koco, I forgot to tell you that, blah, 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 blah. And this was a big deal and this is how it happened. And that's it. That's a situation. So then when it's time for me to check in with you, I would get that and I'd be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That really adds to that helps clarify some of the stuff that's going on with your dog. I'm glad that but you wouldn't have necessarily thought about that during the consult. You wouldn't have thought about that, when we were working the dog on a leash. These are things that add to the whole gamut of what you're doing. So anyway, those are just, it's a little bit about virtual training and why it is absolutely powerful. It is very, very powerful in getting help that you need with your dog. So anyway, okay, I'm going to jump off here because this was supposed to be a 5-minute little video. And of course, we know that I can't do anything less than 20 minutes. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for helping me grow this channel. You guys, I really am working on growing this. One, because I've got a shit ton of information that people need. I have no business keeping this to myself. But I also, I want to grow it for the rescue. Someone had messaged earlier and she said, she wanted to send money for the rescue, which was so awesome. Like, thank you, because it's all out of pocket other than you guys that helped me with it. And anyway, she's like, I want to send money, but you know, she has her own life and all these other things. I was like, thank you so much. But you being here matters because I would like YouTube to financially help support the rescue. And the channel got monetized. So it doesn't make much money now, but as it grows, you know, money will start being made. And that will be a massive, massive way that I will be able to help support these critters, you know, and do all this stuff and keep providing content without burning the candle at both ends. And you know, I'll be able to sleep a little bit and we'll be making money for the rescue. I'll be able to do more things, fund more animals. All of it matters. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys being here. But, you know, even in conjunction with that, I appreciate you guys taking the time to learn about your dog and ask for help because there's not one dog out there that can't be trained. There's not one. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Positivity. Oh, Tracy, thank you for being here. On others, negativity, you need it for your pups, and it's so difficult to respond from people. Jojo, girl, like that's you just spot on. It really is. It's very, very difficult to respond with love and kindness when you just get shit on every fucking day with other people's problems. And so most of the time, I don't do a lot of replying to that kind of stuff, but every now and then I do. And then I run my mouth like I did this morning and kind of stick my foot in my mouth. So anyway, I definitely appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right, you guys, that's it. Remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you need help, a good starting place is leashfoundation.com. Stop, I'm doing a live. Is leashfoundation.com. I'll put that in the description. It's $20 and it's 7 videos. And then if you need training help outside of that, like the full stuff, go to Tulsa Pack Athletics. Go ask Jerry for help. She's got huge programs, virtual training. All of that will be in the description. So if you forget this, just check out that description. I'll have links down there. All right, guys, that's it. Remember, if you want a better dog, ask questions and don't be an asshole like I did this morning. All right, I love you guys. See you later.